So what we got? We've got Avatar: The Last Airbender, Book 2. This one is episode 7, and it is called Zuko Alone. And we know that after the previous episode, Zuko has decided to leave Iroh, wants to go alone. We discussed that. We discussed some motivations behind that. We discussed Iroh's response. But there's obviously going to be consequences to this, and we're now going to see what happens. Zuko is going his own way, wherever that is going to take him. Iroh, I don't know what's going to happen with Iroh. Hopefully we'll have an episode about Iroh and what's going to happen to him. He's not just going to be left, as in not left, but as in we're not just going to be left without knowing what he's up to. If you're watching this on YouTube, then first of all, welcome. Hopefully this edit is okay. It's the thing with YouTube, it has to be edited. See, the full uncut, unedited reaction goes up on Patreon. You don't need your own copy of the show to follow along. I think sometimes it's quite difficult for the editors or the editing service when they haven't seen the show themselves. So they're going into each episode blind. They're not really sure which bits are important in terms of the overall plot. So sometimes stuff gets cut out that probably should be in there. But that's the nature of trying to push things through Content ID. If you're watching me on Patreon, thank you very much. Very much appreciated. Love seeing your comments after each episode. Guides my thinking a bit into the next one. Helps let me know what you want to see when you drop your suggestions. Let's see what Zuzu is up to.
Previously.
Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing that I've noticed in the YouTube comments. People saying, don't watch these previously on Avatar bits because it only gives you little bits of what's happened so far, but using those little bits, you can piece together what's probably going to happen in this episode. Not so much the wider plot, but in this episode. Because usually when I watch these previously on Avatar bits, I'm like, oh, I wonder why they're specifically showing us that bit today. And then it relates to the story we're about to watch. Some people refer to that as spoiling it for yourself. Other people don't seem to mind too much. I'd be interested to know your thoughts. To me, it hasn't really made much difference. Now someone's pointed it out in hindsight, I think. Yeah, there's probably a few times I've gone, oh, that's why that bit's in the beginning. But I don't feel like it's ruined anything for me at all.
On Avatar.
Please, Father. I only had the Fire Nation's best interest at heart.
Oh, I wonder why they're showing us this specific bit.
My father says she was born lucky. He says I was lucky to be born.
Oh, that phrase. Oh, he's hungry. He needs to get his basic needs met. Wow. Hand it to Zuko there, don't we? Looks like he's starving. Stomach's growling. We don't know how long this has been since he's eaten. Smells the meat. Sees the couple. See the woman's pregnant. Reaches for his sword. Thinks about it. Even in this potentially survival state he's in, he still has enough there to think, nah, man, this isn't appropriate. I can't steal the food from them. They need it. I can't kill them for the food. He doesn't do anything. He just moves on. I like Zuko for that. Now he's out of water. Blurred vision. Losing consciousness. Was that? That's not Azula, is it? She looks too soft to be Azula. Unless it's Azula younger, but that I don't know. That doesn't make sense. And I don't think we've been introduced to anyone else it could be. But it's got to be someone important to him, right? So mother, perhaps. Well, she turns around at the end and puts her hood up, maybe hallucinating or having a vision of her just leaving, like covering herself, moving away. But she didn't, facially, she didn't seem like she was angry at Zuko in any way or shameful of him. Just seemed to be her turning, hood up, going. Interesting. Side eyes all round.
Not enough here for a hot meal. I can get you 2 bags of feed.
Oh no, they're going to think it was Zuko.
You throwing eggs at us, stranger?
No,
You see who did throw it?
No.
Protecting the kids.
Maybe a chicken flew over.
Thanks for your contribution.
Those soldiers are supposed to protect us from the Fire Nation, but they're just a bunch of thugs.
Thanks for not ratting me out.
And what sense does Zuko make of this? In terms of his views of, the other nations and the war and why they're fighting. Because we had in that previous episode, didn't we, where he actually connected with someone. And also, he could have retaliated there, couldn't he? So a few things. So if you're not used to my style here, if you're new, then I like to air my thinking process, not my final conclusion, because I don't think you can do a final conclusion without seeing more. So thinking process. So why didn't he retaliate? That's the question. He either felt he was outnumbered. Unlikely. I think he could probably hold his own, especially if he used his firebending abilities. Although he is a decent swordsman in his own right. Maybe there's something there about he doesn't want to make himself bring attention to himself. He's quite with his scar, he's quite unique looking, isn't he? So easy to identify. So the last thing he wants is one of them to get away and people are looking for him. Maybe he's just completely fatigued. He doesn't have the energy for combat right now. I mean, he's thirsty, he's hungry, he's blurred vision, he's seeing things. Maybe there's some identity thing here with, oh, I'll do it when I put my blue spirit mask on. That's the fighting persona I've got. What else? Is there anything else it could be? I don't know. Let me know what you think.
I'll take you to my house and feed your ostrich horse for you. Come on, I owe you.
Oh, that's paid off, isn't it? It's paid off. Not grassing up the kids.
You
A pig rooster.
Does this guy have a name?
He doesn't have to say who he is if he doesn't want to, Seela. Those men should be ashamed to wear Earth Kingdom uniforms.
The real soldiers are all fighting the war, like Lee's big brother, Sun Tzu. Supper's going to be ready soon.
The way he turned at the offer of supper. But he'll have the supper if he works for it.
So how'd you get that scar?
It's not nice to bother people about things they might not.
Yeah. Lee's dad's attuned to this, isn't he? Getting a flashback. That's a duck turtle. A turtle duck.
Hey, Mom, want to see how Azula feeds turtle ducks?
That's the lady we saw before. That's his mum. Nailed it.
Ow! 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 Stupid turtle duck! Why'd you do that?
That's what moms are like. If you mess with their babies,
Hum!
they're gonna bite you back.
All I can think is what went wrong.
Can you make Zuko play with us?
I am not cartwheeling.
You won't have to. Cartwheeling's not a game.
I don't want to play with you.
We are brother and sister. It's important for us to spend time together.
We've got these manipulation skills on point so early.
Go on now, just for a little while.
Now what you do is, try to knock the apple off the other person's head. Like this.
Using fire?
Uncle Iroh sent us a letter from the war front.
If the city is as magnificent as its wall, I hope you all may see it someday. If we don't burn it to the ground first.
Until then, enjoy these gifts. For Zuko, a pearl dagger, and for Azula, a new friend.
If Uncle doesn't make it back from war, then Dad would be next in line to be Fire Lord.
It would be awful if Uncle Iroh didn't return.
But he does return because we've seen him present day.
I still think our Dad would make a much better Fire Lord than his royal tea-loving kookiness.
Something I found interesting there was I remember in a previous reaction when they were cutting off their hair, and I said, "Oh, I wonder what that writing says. Is it the same? Is it the same dagger?
For Zuko,
The pearl dagger. What did it say again? Keep fighting or something?
and the superior craftsmanship.
Never give up without a fight.
Never give up without a fight. This feels like it's going to be important at some point. Azula doesn't like her doll, but she does have a mind on her father becoming the next Fire Lord. Fire Lord, is that the right term? I think so.
I still think our Dad would make a much better Fire Lord than
Yeah.
his royal tea-loving kookiness.
But I love that royalty-loving cookiness.
You're holding them all wrong.
Love it. Not, why have you taken my swords? It's okay. Let me show you how to do it properly.
These are dual swords. Two halves of a single weapon. Don't think of them as separate, because they're not.
Oh, why do I instantly think of Iroh and Zuko there as two parts of the same weapon? They belong together.
Here. This ought to get you through a few meals.
What do you think they want?
Trouble.
And who's there to help protect them? Zuko.
What do you want, Gao?
Just thought someone ought to tell you your son's battalion got captured.
Why does he seem so smug about it? Oh no.
Iroh has lost his son.
Iroh's lost his son. Okay. Wow. First of all, I feel really bad for Iroh. Second, I didn't know he had a son. Thirdly, this explains the attachment between Iroh and Zuko. Oh. So I just had to pause it there. I had to process what was just said. I wonder how he got through that. Or possibly hasn't. Not internally, anyway. Wow, so much to consider. Okay, let's see.
What's gonna happen to my brother?
Activates that memory. Of course it does.
I'm going to find Sensu and bring him back.
Will you stay?
No. Here. I want you to have this. Read the inscription.
Never give up without a fight.
Oh, he looks angry.
Uncle's coming home.
Does that mean we won the war?
It means Uncle's a quitter and a loser.
He lost his son.
Great-grandfather won because...
Because even though his army was outnumbered, he cleverly calculated his advantages.
Correct, my dear. Would you show Grandfather the new moves you demonstrated to me? She's a true prodigy.
I'd like to demonstrate what I've been learning.
That frown.
I failed.
I look at his mum get up.
Say what it is you want.
Revoke Iroh's birthright.
You dare suggest I betray Iroh?
I think Iroh has suffered enough.
But your punishment has scarcely begun.
Dad's going to kill you.
Something that I think that I didn't know before. They named... Was it Sozin? That's the name of the comet. Sozin's comet, isn't it?
Antwi.
Here.
Great-grandfather won...
It skipped just as I was going to press pause. And how was it great-grandfather? Sozin. Okay, and we've got Sozin's comet on the way, haven't we? Not sure if I knew that before. Well, I knew the name of the comet, but I don't think I knew how it was named. And there's an interesting dynamic here, isn't there, between Azula and Zuko's father, who seems more attached to Azula. You see the smile, don't you, when she starts performing. And we have Zuko more attached to the mother. You see the dad frowning when he starts to perform. And when he falls, his mum goes over. There seems to be more attunement between those two. And then I just wanted to...
My brother abandoned the siege at Ba Sing.
So Azulon, I think that's his name, acknowledges it would clearly seems to be quite fond of Iroh, firstborn. Acknowledges here that his son has died and he's grieving.
Iroh has suffered enough.
But this bit, your punishment for suggesting this, for suggesting changing the order of things. Is that why he's being punished now? I'm guessing so. Azula's watching and loving it.
Grandfather said Dad's punishment should fit his crime. You must know the pain of losing a first...
What?
By sacrificing your own.
Liar.
I know. Maybe you could find a nice Earth Kingdom family to adopt you.
Stop it. You're...
Wow. Well, that connects with present day, doesn't it?
What is going on here?
I don't know.
It's time for a talk.
Azula always lies.
Azula always lies.
Wow, and how long that's been a cognitive coping strategy for?
The thugs from town came back as soon as Gonsu left. When they ordered us to give them food, Lee pulled a knife on them. And they took him away. They told me if Lee's old enough to fight, he's old enough to join the army. I know we barely know you, but...
She can't use another one. Oh, there's so much going on in this episode.
There he is! I told you he'd come!
Let the kid go.
Who do you think you
Oh, you're in trouble.
You're sick cowards messing with a family who's already lost one son to the war.
are? You gonna let this stranger stand there and insult you like this?
He's holding back though, isn't he? He's teaching them a lesson more than harming them. He doesn't want to use his fire, does he? We might not have any choice though.
Everything I've done to protect you. No matter how things may seem to change, never forget who you are.
Oh, that's, yeah, the hood. Okay. Is that the last memory of his mum then? Now the question will be, how is he accepted by Lee's family now they know he's Fire Nation?
Who are you?
My name is Zuko, Prince of the Fire Nation and heir to the throne.
Liar! I heard of you. You're not a prince, you're an outcast.
Not a step closer.
Oh, look how he cowers behind his mother.
You should have it.
No, I hate you!
Mom? Mom! Mom!
Has Azula taken his knife? His dagger?
And last night, Grandpa passed away.
Not funny, Azula. And I want my knife back.
Who's
now.
going to make me? Mom?
Where is she?
Azula, Fire Lord to our nation for 23 years. We lay you to rest. As was your dying wish, you are now succeeded by your
second son. Was that his wish?
Hail, Fire Lord!
Or has this been manipulated somehow? Her smile. And a worried Zuko looks. Especially with his mum gone. So did Azulon really say that to Ozai? Kill your son so you know what it's like to lose a son? Or was that Azula just messing about? Not, yeah, Azula. Get my Azulas and my Zulons mixed up there. Wow, so much happened in that episode. That was crazy. We got so much. There's so many questions as well. Okay, what an episode. I know I normally do doubles. I'm just gonna talk a little bit now, just reflect about what I've just seen. And as I said during the, I'm really fidgety, sorry. As I said during the reaction, this is, like, I don't deliver analysis here. I don't think that can be done without seeing more of someone, without more perspectives, without more history, without understanding more of their context. That's really difficult to do sometimes when you're just shown what you're shown as a viewer. But I can let you into my thinking process. Let me bring up some notes. That might be easier. So I want to think a bit about Azula. We've got a bit of her history there, a bit of her backstory. We got a bit more around Zuko, and we got a bit about Iroh as well. So you need to think about Azula and maybe the context that she's been brought up in, because I think it'd be really easy to frame her as bad, naughty, those kind of words. But we got to think about her context. We need to think about what's going on for her, because let's think about this a bit. So her father is Ozai. Her grandfather is Azulon. I think her great grandfather is Sozin. I think I got this right. If there's probably stuff I don't know yet or hasn't been revealed, so don't spoil it for me if there is. And Ozai is Iroh's brother. So her uncle is Iroh. And obviously her brother is Zuko. What was the mum's name? I can't remember. Which is probably ironic. I don't know if ironic is the right word, but I can't remember the mother's name in the the patriarchal system. Was it in the episode? Let me just go back and have a look at. They would have said at the funeral. Father of Iroh, father of Ozai, husband of Isla, now passed. Oh no, that's the wrong. That's the wrong generation. So I've just watched a scene where Iroh, they get news that Iroh's lost his son. They don't say her name there. What about this scene where Iroh writes? It doesn't even say it. It doesn't even say it in that. Okay, maybe when she first talks, does the subtitle show her name? The thing is, I could easily Google it, but I don't like Googling things in case I see stuff that I don't want to see, like spoilers. So a turtle duck scene. It's just "Hey mum." Interesting. I've just watched that scene again where Zuko's mum says, "If you mess with my babies, that's what mums are like. You know, they're going to bite you back." But actually, it seems that Zuko's mum, when they were, oh, she left, didn't she? She left. She didn't protect Zuko at all. She left. Was that for her own protection? It's interesting. I can't find her name at all. How about when they're in front of the Fire Lord? It just says mother on the subtitles, like mother : then her speaking. That's really interesting, isn't it? Okay, let's not spend too much time on this. But my point was more, before I went on that side quest, was to factor in her context of this patriarchal system of a warring nation. The behavior she's displaying are probably heavily positively reinforced. Positively reinforced meaning something favorable has been done after a behavior. So she's becomes good at firebending. It's praised. Or the other way to look at it is the behaviors that she is doing aren't punished in some way. So there doesn't seem to be any positive punishment. So meaning something done or given that reduces a behavior. And there doesn't seem to be any negative punishment, which is something removed to reduce a behavior. There doesn't seem to be anything in place that reduces her behavior. So why would it change? You could say, I guess you could argue, okay, maybe her mum is trying to do that in some circumstances, but given the context of everyone else in terms of great grandfather's legacy, grandfather, father, everything else built around that, it's unlikely that behavior is going to change. Now, maybe there's some kind of nature component into this, the age-old nurture nature debate, but it's always the research pretty much shows it's always a mixture of the two. We don't really know what Azula's earlier years were, so earlier than this. We don't really see much about her day-to-day life. We don't see much about her relationship with her father and how he interacts with her, other than when she stands up to perform, he smiles. She clearly has started learning to manipulate people from a very young age, and in the way that she gets her mum to get Zuko to play with them. But again, that's being reinforced by her getting what she wants. Plus her father's, she seems quite invested in her father becoming the next Fire Lord. So I wonder how much she's either overheard or discussed that with her father, or heard her father discussing it. So that becomes the goal, doesn't it? Not just a goal for her father, but the goal in terms of power and what you need to do, what steps you need to take in order to obtain that. And it's interesting that you can still see these skills of manipulation, this almost coldness she has about her in the present day episodes and not the flashbacks. So that's carried over. So maybe here with Ozai then, maybe there's some kind of conditional approval from him. So I get seen by my father, I get loved by my father if I do well at firebending, if I show strength, if I show power, if I show dominance, and all those things, power, dominance, doing well. So maybe not perfection, but a high level of competence. That's all rewarded. Remember, these are just my notes. This is my thinking process. So there's all of that being reinforced, but also what does father model himself? Probably those things. But they don't seem very, he doesn't seem, again, we only see such limited interactions between them, but he doesn't seem particularly warm towards her. Like, I don't remember there being any praise when she was performing in front of Azulon from Ozai. So it feels like her power and her dominance and her competence is valued more than connection, which is the opposite to Zuko and his mum, where she said something like, so do your hard work, so do the effort you're putting in, not the end result. But they feel like they value that connection more than the end result. Zuko, add that in. So, connection with mum. It's more rewarded. So it's rewarded by mum for hard work, but it's punished by dad because it's not good enough. And I wonder here, when we think about Azula, whether that's why she dislikes Uncle so much, Iroh so much, because she even says, real general would be out burning the city to the ground, or the castle to the ground, because when losing her son. And what did she refer to him as? A tea drinking something, I can't remember now. But it was something that indicated some level of softness. So you can see why she wants him out of the picture. He's never been anything to her in terms of a role model or that. He's just been seen as soft and weak. But interestingly, that's really helpful for Zuko, because Iroh probably has more in common with Zuko's mum than his brother in terms of the relationship with Zuko and what Zuko gets out of it. And Iroh probably sees his son in Zuko, hence that attachment. And interesting, and you got to think about with Azula when she was a baby and really early on templating of the world, what that looked like for her in terms of where did this? It feels like there's some distance between her and her mother, and I wonder where that came from. I wonder if Ozai, Azulon, just the whole power structure just kind of took her in, and then that just got reinforced over time. And actually, I wonder what her mum's responses to that were. Because of that distance between her and mum, did that feel like to Azula as a very, very, very young child? Does that feel like some kind of rejection from mum? And then that pushes her in the direction of those reinforcing principles from dad and the rest of the power structure. And you can probably start thinking a little bit. I mean, this is making some really big assumptions here, but again, this is about talking points and thinking about where this stuff comes from. We can probably start thinking a little bit about schemas, maybe core beliefs, just throwing some ideas out there. Please remember that's the purpose of this. So maybe there's something around high standards, high competence, but that might present as I am perfect, not I am. I must be perfect. Maybe there's something here about superiority. I am superior. Maybe something around feelings are a weakness. So behaviorally, that's express no vulnerability. And then there's probably something around manipulation. But quite often, manipulation is actually a defensive strategy. So you manipulate someone before you get manipulated yourself. You will be betrayed by others, or others will let you down if you show any weakness, like we just talked about. Feelings are a weakness, so therefore you manipulate others before they manipulate you. There's something there. And then we had the additional Zuko bits. I won't feed them into the formulation just because it's just be easier to keep them separate for now. In fact, no, let's put them in. Let's put them in now. So we had this connection with mum. So we'll put that in predisposing because he's relatively young. I still don't think I fully understand why mum left. I'm not really sure if Azulon really asked Ozai, because we don't hear it ourselves. We just rely on Azula's, what she says about it. We're relying on that, whether he did say it or not. But then does that tie in with the mum leaving, but then not protecting him like those ducks at the beginning? Which interestingly is where there's a learning opportunity there. Zuko throws something and it hits the duck. And mum's like, what did you do that for? But then takes the opportunity to kind of use it as a bit of education. Maybe something around empathy. Even when Azula says that grandfather's died, she's like, oh, by the way, grandfather's dead. Very little emotional response there. Probably because she saw that as a step towards power, or for her dad's step towards power. But you can start to see how these earlier years with Zuko, this connection with mum, is punished by dad, how this starts linking in with like shame-based attachment trauma, how it links in with conditional acceptance. how identity is defined by honor and success. So actually maybe seeing how, from his perspective, how Azula was accepted for her success, is tying that together. I mean, this early humiliation, which I think I wrote when we found out about how he got his scar, that's actually been going on throughout his childhood. I wonder now if there's something here banished. Was he banished? I mean, Azulon's dead, so he. Let's say it's true that he asked Ozai to kill his son. Does Ozai banish him to not have to do that? I mean, I know there's the whole. I think Iroh took him into the council, the war room, whatever it's called, and Zuko spoke out, and that's what led to the trial. Actually, is that what got Iroh? That's why Iroh left, wasn't it? Because of that situation. Iroh wasn't banished, but Iroh went with Zuko when he was banished. I also wonder what sense Zuko makes of his mum leaving. Like, does he see, if he sees her as a more of a compassionate figure, does he, trying to think of it from his perspective, does he see that as she left because she was compassionate, so she had to go? So maybe even starting linking compassionate with weakness, or compassionate with not fitting in, not being wanted. Plus we saw a coping strategy, didn't we, of him going, Azula always lies, Azula always lies. It's a cognitive, self-soothing strategy, one that he's had as a child and he still uses in the present day. But his mum leaving, like, that's whatever sense he makes of it, it'll be viewed as abandonment by him. So abandonment is what's happened. I'm just thinking about what reason would he come up with for the abandonment, and that's a big loss of an attachment base, of a secure attachment base for him. That's really destabilizing, especially in terms of his identity at that age. I don't think we know what happened. I don't know what the timescale is between his mother leaving and then the incident where he goes into the council, or the war room. I don't know what it's called. You know what I mean? No. There's so much to unpick here. And then we've got Iroh losing his son. And you see this, there was that moment where Iroh's writing the letter to Zuko, and Azula, he says something like, not unless I burn it down first, or burn it down sooner, and he kind of laughs, and then it transitions to the kids laughing as well. It just shows how much violence is in their lives and what they're exposed to. But it feels like Iroh at that point has a real propensity there for violence and war, and an enjoyment of it. And then we hear that his son's been killed, and then he's gone somewhere to grieve. But I wonder how Iroh deals with that. I wonder if this is where we see maybe a shift in Iroh. I mean, we haven't seen him before that point, so we don't know what his personality or character was like beforehand. But we know what it is like now. I wonder if this experience of losing his son has shaped him into, well, of course it has. Every experience shapes everyone, but like the impact of him losing his son, how he responded to that at the time and soon afterwards, but also how he relates to it now in the present day, and that level of compassion he has towards Zuko. Oh, there's so much. So all we really know, let's take that Zuko out. I mean, and also in terms of there's loads of mirroring in the actual episode, isn't there, with Lee? So you have this abandonment, rejection schema of Zuko at the end of that episode when Lee says, I hate you or something, and leaves with Lee's mother. There's that going on. There's Zuko losing his cousin, which is like Lee losing his brother. And because of that rejection and that abandonment, when that keeps happening to someone, you end up with these schemes of like I'm broken in some way, I'm unlovable. Right. So we'd have Iroh. I mean, predisposing, we don't know. We don't know anything about his early years at all, I don't think. And when I mean early years, I mean earlier years. Precipitating. So the first like big thing we hear about him is the death of his son. So we know that. We know that much. And we know it's after the death of his son. I don't know if he disappears or whether he's just on his way back and it just takes some time. I couldn't really pick up on whether he had just gone somewhere and people didn't know where, or he was making his way back. But there'll be some kind of grieving process for him. But we know presenting, as in how we see him today, we know he has a history of bereavement for his son. He's retired, isn't he? He's a retired general. But he'll have, I mean, up to the point that he lost his son, he would have had a decent military career. So he would have had this former military identity. We know that he's attached to Zuko. And that seems to be a voluntary position, a voluntary choice, a decision. Whether he felt somewhat responsible for Zuko's banishment for letting him into that room in the first place, I don't know. But it feels more than just responsibility there. It feels like genuine attachment. Probably because of the reminder of his son. His use of metaphor to teach is amazing. It's probably a protective factor, actually. But we always see him regulating with like tea and music and games and food. Like he always looks pretty calm, doesn't he? We don't know what's going on the inside for him. But behaviorally speaking, he seems to be able to self-regulate pretty well. You know, and I say that in terms of we don't know what's going on for him inside. We don't know what's going on for him inside in terms of what's happening episode per episode where we see him, but also in terms of what he's holding regarding his son. And I get the sense that his son died at the same place where he was. So is there some form of, like, did he give the order for his son to go into that battle? And if he did, is there some moral injury here? Is there some survivor's guilt here going on? So possible survivor's guilt, moral injury, perhaps. Again, this is just throwing ideas out here, thinking process. But he's very psychologically flexible, isn't he? He seems emotionally very stable. But what is that built on? That's come at a cost. Well, I guess, I mean, I've written question mark here, now I look up and see predisposing. We know he's been part of this power structure because of who he is. You know, what he's been born into. You know, power structure, royal, hierarchy, a power structure, and it's a power structure based on like dominance, winning wars, dominance. I mean, this, like, now I look at this death of his son, grieving, that has a whole cascade of things in terms of like identity or paternal identity, which he now is probably putting onto Zuko, but in terms of what it means of his, you know, where does he sit in terms of the army and being seen as this conqueror and how other people would see him. And there's this big cascade of things that comes out of that. But it feels like he disappears. And I wonder if when he disappears, he ends up maybe something similar to what, oh, this would fit quite well. Maybe something similar to what Zuko is doing now, where Zuko's gone off alone to find himself. Where it feels like maybe Iroh did that. Iroh went off by himself after this to find himself. I mean, we can finish this off a little bit. So perpetuating, we've got perpetuating, and we've got protective. So perpetuating, he's got this worldview of like compassion, balance, inner strength. You know, all those kind of things. They're quite hard to, they're not very tangible, they're quite hard to measure. But I think you know what I mean by that. And he's got Zuko, it gives him purpose, I think. It gives him relational connection. It gives him some paternal identity. Oh, as I write this, I love Iroh so much. And maybe sees it as, maybe Iroh can see this intergenerational behaviors. We might call it intergenerational trauma, but these behaviors coming down, maybe he sees it as a way to like repair this or to stop this cycle. I don't know, maybe there's something there. But Zuko is clearly very important to him, which will be interesting to see what happens now Zuko's left him. But I think Iroh is understanding of the reasons why. It doesn't feel like a rejection or an abandonment. He understands why. He's got very good behavioral, or very workable and very helpful, I should say, behavioral regulation strategies. And there's something here about what he seeks, like his motivation, because he's separated himself somewhat from the power struggles within this royal hierarchy, which I guess as well as looking at balance. Like that stuff isn't meaningful to him anymore. And I think that's helpful because it protects him from having to strive for that. Again, I mean, some of these perpetuating maybe should be protective. So these behavioral regulation strategies are clearly protective. He has some insight into everything that's going on, the bigger picture. It's saying to Zuko, even if you find the avatar now, I don't think it's going to be helpful. He has flexibility, he has psychological flexibility, and you see this at how lightly, and I don't mean lightly as in they're not important to him, but lightly as in he's not firmly fixed to these ideas, but he's quite flexible when it comes to, you know, he's been a general, he's an uncle to Zuko, he's okay going off by himself and not being part of this power structure. Like, he's quite flexible in how he views himself, which is really, really protective. I mean, the whole purpose of acceptance and commitment therapy is to target this idea of psychological flexibility, you know, increase psychological flexibility. I mean, Zuko is protective, and it doesn't matter that he's gone, he's still protective. And he would have been, now thinking about war stuff, so predisposing, he would have been exposed to war, and what war brings with it. I think this looks all right for kind of a first snapshot. I mean, I feel like I've been talking for ages, just really sporadically with these ideas. Maybe that's okay. Oh gosh, all right? We haven't even done the next episode yet. Let's do the next episode. Let's see what that's going to give us. I'm almost hoping that it's almost a bit of a filler episode or something fun after, because that was so heavy. Okay, so let's get into number 8. The chase.
Previously on Avatar.
If I want to catch my prey, I must be agile.
Oh, we're going to get an Azula episode.
Even though I was born blind, I've
Tough.
I see with earthbending.
Oh, she's so cool.
I thought a lot about what you said.
You did? Good, good.
Oh, Iroh's experienced so much pain.
Hey, you guys picked a great campsite. The grass is so soft.
That's not grass. Appa's shedding.
Oh, gross.
That's not gross. It's just a part of spring, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I was just going to say, it's part of nature, isn't it? Regrowth.
Excuse me, does anyone have a razor? Because I got some hairy pits.
I'm glad Katara laughed there. You know, thinking about her parentification.
Some of us might fetch water, while someone else might set up the fire pit or put up the tent.
My tent's all set up.
That's great for you, but we still need to finish.
I don't understand. What's the problem here?
What's her idea?
I think we're all just a little tired and getting on each other's nerves.
You do seem pretty tired.
Trying to do a repair.
Good night.
But I don't think Toph is purposely trying not to be a team player, if that makes sense. She's not purposely... What would you say? She's not purposely trying to be not trying to be cooperative. I think she genuinely is like, I can take care of myself. I've done everything I need to do. And then you start thinking, okay, well, where does that come from? Where does that way of thinking come from? Because she's been really overprotected by her parents, hasn't she? So if she accepts help, is that a sign of weakness for her? Does that fit? She's probably had a lot done for her over the years, although we know that she can do so much more for herself. So even though her parents think that she can't, she knows she can do a lot for herself. But if she doesn't do things for herself, or if she can't do things for herself, what does that mean for her? Does that show some, maybe not weakness, maybe vulnerability, maybe that's a better word. And then if I accept help from others, it makes me vulnerable. Or if it looks like I need help, it makes me vulnerable. Something around that. Remember, this is me airing my thoughts. Or maybe it's something along the lines of people have always treated me as helpless because I'm blind, and I want to prove to them that I'm not. And maybe she gets that maybe she's getting that confused with Katara talking about cooperation. We work as a group for each other. And she's taking it as in, do you need some help? Maybe it's not that. Maybe it is more of the people treat me as I'm helpless. I must prove that I'm not. I must prove I can take care of myself. Some ideas there. But this is at odds, isn't it, to what Katara is trying to portray and deliver. Like, we work cooperatively here. We look after each other. Everyone contributes to this team. And that's how we care for each other. That's how we look after for each other. It's not a sign of weakness, vulnerability. You see, we're going to have a bit of a clash with them. But she sensed something here, hasn't she? She sensed it through the ground before anyone else has.
It feels like an avalanche. Also not an avalanche.
Should we leave?
Better safe than sorry.
What is that? I was going to say, get a bird's eye view, see what's going on. An upper view. Upper's eye view. God, that's drawn out, wasn't it? Well, they're tired.
Land, sweet land. See you guys in the morning.
Land, sweet land. I wonder if she can't probably pick up much on Upper, can she?
Load Sokka's funky smelling sleeping bag?
Well, yeah. You're a part of our team now, and
Look, I didn't ask you to help unload my stuff.
ever since you joined us, you've been nothing but selfish and unhelpful.
I gave up everything I had so that I could teach Aang earthbending.
Did you just slam the door in my face?
Okay. You both need to calm down.
Both? I'm completely calm!
Eye twitch.
The stars sure are beautiful tonight. Too bad you can't see them, Toph.
That thing is back.
Well, how far away is it? Maybe we can close our eyes just for a few minutes.
I don't think so, Sokka.
What is it? It's a train.
Seriously, what is that thing?
Good question.
Okay, forget about setting up camp. I'm finding the softest pile of dirt.
Wow. He's doing that worm thing again. They're going to end up with sleep deprivation here, which is going to make them more irritable with each other.
It could be Zuko. We haven't seen him since the North Pole.
Who's Zuko?
Oh, just some angry freak with a ponytail.
What's wrong with ponytails?
This is a warrior's wolf tail.
Well, it certainly tells the other warriors that you're fun and perky.
Oh, don't tell me.
There's no way they could have tracked us.
I can feel it with my own 2 feet.
How are they tracking them? I don't know who it is to begin with. I don't know if they're after Aang or if they're after Toph.
Out of here.
Maybe we should face them. Find out who they are.
Always the optimist.
Was it Toph's parents? Because they sent people out, didn't they? They said Aang had kidnapped her. Oh, we've got... Was that Azula? The power trio?
We can take them. 3 on 3.
Actually, Toph, there's 4 of them.
Oh, I laugh.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't count you. You know, no bending and all.
Oh, burn. I laugh, but at the same time, we do see this continual trend, don't we, of Sokka not being acknowledged. Like when we brought up that he didn't get the gifts before. I think I can't remember who it was now. Someone got a scroll. Did Katara get a scroll or got a bit of some water in some kind of vessel? And Aang got the scroll, but Sokka didn't get anything. It's this, but they're like little microaggressions, aren't they? They all add up over time. This constant, you're not an airbender, you're not being acknowledged for what you're bringing to the team. Like it just begins to weigh on you.
Well, we wanted to find out who they were, and we found out. Now let's get out of here.
Oh, the lightning's cool though, isn't it?
Appa, yip yip.
Yip yip. But they've tracked them somehow.
I still think we could have taken them.
The crazy blue firebending and the flying daggers are...
Yeah, but Toph's used to winning, isn't she?
One of those girls did something that took my bending away. That's scary.
Did that like hit her in the nerves or something, didn't she?
Every time we land, those girls are there. So we'll just have to keep flying.
Appa can't just keep flying. Have they put like a tracker on them or something? Have we got Zuko in this episode? Okay, that's cool. Oh, Zuko tracking the train?
I'm sure we'll come up with something after a short nap.
What's going on?
I'm guessing Appa's falling.
Wake up, buddy! Appa's exhausted.
You want to know how they keep finding us? He's leaving a trail everywhere we go.
He saved your life 3 times today. If there's anyone to blame, it's you.
Oh, Aang's getting in on the blame game.
He never had a problem flying when it was just the 3 of us.
I'm out of here.
Wait.
Is that how they're doing it then?
Now she's gone.
We're all just trying to get used to each other. And I was so mean to
Oh, look at Katara's perspective taking there.
I have a plan.
He can like airbend it in the other direction or something. Or give Appo a good scrub so he doesn't shed anymore. What can she feel? Zuko?
That really
Iroh.
Of wet fur. How delightful.
Hold on, so we just saw Iroh, didn't we? Let's see what... want to see my Iroh again.
Wads of wet fur. How delightful.
Bunches? It's got an sound.
Clumps?
Clumps! They're clumps!
Azula looking the other direction.
You two head in that direction and keep your eye out for the bison.
She's cunning. She knows how to manipulate situations. Oh, he looks tired. Is he thinking about having some sleep? Oh, he's going to wait. Waiting for some confrontation?
We made it! We're safe!
Oh, no! Water whip. Oh, she's trying to avoid having those pressure points hit again. Nice work, Sokka. Oh, that's, yeah. That's what she did before to Katara.
Good try, but no.
Like a thick skull.
How you doing?
Well, you know.
Victory is boring.
He's exhausted though, isn't he?
Now who are you and what do you want?
You mean you haven't guessed? You don't see the family resemblance?
Aang's there for answers.
I must find the Avatar to restore my honor.
So what now?
Now? Now it's over.
Here is your tea. A little too young to be traveling alone.
You seem a little too old.
Perhaps I am.
I love that. Just acceptance of that joke. I know what you're thinking. I look like I can't handle being myself. That's exactly what we said. That makes her look vulnerable. This is why she wants to do everything herself, to show that she can, to show she's not weak.
Like I can't handle being by myself.
I look like I can't handle being myself.
You wouldn't even let me.
You wouldn't even let me pour my own cup of tea. Wow.
People see me and think I'm weak. They want to take care of me, but I can take care of myself by...
We nailed that earlier.
There is nothing wrong with letting people who love you help you. I just met you.
So, where is your nephew?
He's so great at explaining things, isn't he?
Is he lost?
Yes, a little bit.
Oh, obviously lost spiritually.
Going through very difficult times. He's trying to figure...
Exactly how Iroh did when he lost his son.
I know he doesn't want me around right now. But if he needs me...
Iroh.
Your nephew is very lucky. Even if he doesn't know it.
He is.
Maybe you should tell him that you need him, too.
Gotta discuss that in Iroh's formulation bit in between, didn't we? Wow, that blue flame looks strong. I love the way they depict her flame differently to Zuko's. It's almost like hers has got some coldness behind it. Oh, she's destroying the buildings in this village. I mean, it looked deserted anyway, but I thought Zuko was going to save him, but it's Katara.
I thought you guys could use a little help.
Oh. Did she take out the strongest? He's okay, isn't he? He's okay. He'll be okay. What can she feel through her foot? Can she feel his heart beating? Oh yeah, Katara could help because she can heal, can't she? Man, Zuko can't hear it. He's angry. Oh, is that them all sleeping kind of together there at the end? They've come together again as a team. Wow, what a couple of episodes that was. They were great. The first one, especially. But I'm not going to spend ages reflecting and updating stuff. That one, we spent a lot of time in the middle, but I think we nailed it at the beginning with Toph. Makes sense. Zuko at the end, again, not accepting help from them. Great, some great stuff from Iroh, as usual. I mean, there was a bit where Toph had her foot on the floor near Iroh, like she could sense. I wonder if she was sensing that he was still alive, that his heart was still beating. But Zuko, again, it's that risk of abandonment, isn't it? Like his mother. And because Iroh's got so many qualities like his mother had as well. Like really the only person who matters to him has been injured, has been hurt. And I'm not sure. There's a part there as well where, was Iroh distracted? He looked over at Toph just before Azula struck. Like, why did he look at Toph specifically? Was he just thinking about her? Was he just thinking of his connection with her and their experience earlier? But then Azula uses that opportunity. It's like she uses his connection with someone else to get to him. That feels quite symbolic. Oh, Iroh. I love the way he connects with Toph. Kind of validates things for her. He doesn't. Like when Toph and Katara, you can see it escalating as each other says something. You don't get that with Iroh. He validates, sees the person, hears them, and it never escalates past that. It's such a good skill. Right, let's leave that there. Otherwise this video's gonna be hours. Right. That's it. Fantastic show. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care.